Call this Committee of Adjustment meeting on October 5th, 2020 to order, please. Reed Bailey is unable to be here at this point, so we need a motion to allow Deputy Reeve Syke to be chair.
I'll make it.
Councillor Van Henderson moves, seconded by Councillor Palmer. All those in favor? Carried. Confirmation of the agenda. That the Committee of Adjustments hereby accepts the agenda for October 5th, 2020 public meeting as presented. Councillor Faulkner moves. Councillor Heffer seconds. All those in favor? Carried. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest? None noted. We have the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. So in your package there was the minutes, and the motion, the proposed motion is that the Committee of Adjustments hereby adopts the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting held August 26, 2020 as presented. Councillor Van Henderson moves, Councillor Faulkner seconds. Is there any questions or anything about those minutes? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried. Statement of precedent that any decision reached by this committee cannot be used as used to set a precedent. And we have 6.1, which is the file MV03-2020, which is the location of Lot 4, Registered Plan 22M13, 219 Rutledge Street, Blythe, Township in North Huron. The applicants and the owners is Gary Rutledge and GJAJ Holdings Limited. And at this point, I will pass it on to the county planner to carry on with that. Monica?
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Reeve. Good evening, Council. This is an application for minor variance. The applicant is GJAJ Holdings and the agent is Gary Rutledge. And as the Deputy Reeve has said, the location of the property is Lot 4 in Registered Plan 22M13, 219 Rutledge Street in Blythe. So this zoning of the subject property is residential low density, and it's designated residential in the Township of North Huron official plan. In developing a single detached residence, the required minimum rear yard setback in the zoning bylaw is 8 meters. The proposed rear yard setback for this development is 6.5 meters. So the applicant has applied for relief of 1.5 meters to reduce the required minimum rear yard setback. This air photo shows the property as it was in 2015 when the air photos were shot. As you know, this area was the subject of a plan of subdivision and is now starting to develop. But you can see the shape of the lot on this slide. When reviewing an application for minor variance, there are 4 tests under the Planning Act. The first test is, does it meet the intent of the North Huron official plan? The second test is, does it meet the intent of the township's zoning bylaw? Is it desirable for the appropriate development of the lands in question, and is it minor in nature? In reviewing the 4 tests, the planning department has determined that the application meets all 4 tests under the Planning Act, and the application is recommended for approval with the recommended condition. This is just a photo of the subject property. You can see a little bit better the development surrounding it and the size and location of the lot. So those would be my remarks, Mr. Deputy Reeve, and if council has any questions, I'm available.
So just before we get to that, obviously I'm not seeing the applicant here, but this would have been an opportunity for the applicant or the agent to make comment now. Not seeing them in the chambers tonight. So 6.1.3, opportunity to comment by others in attendance. Not seeing anybody else in attendance tonight other than council. Opportunity for questions and comments by the Committee of Adjustment. Is there any comments or questions? I will go to Councillor Faulkner first.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Is the requirement for the setback the same for the multi-units as it is for single unit? Or is this just because it's a single unit that is required?
That's a good question. Usually there's, as you get to be like a higher density of development, you put, if anything, you would put greater setbacks around it. But I could quickly check the North Huron zoning bylaw to answer that for you.
No, I was just wondering if it was a change to the, what the actual change was going to be for, since it was what do you call that, an engineered development, but the development had already been, is already through production, there already are single
Yeah,
homes there. I just wonder what's the difference between this home and,
okay.
is it the
I
lot
think I
size?
understand where your question's coming from. It's the design that the purchaser of the house wants resulted in a larger footprint for the house. So when the subdivision was designed, they weren't anticipating quite this large of a house. But if the impact is minor, and we can consider a reduction of 1.5 meters and allow them to build a slightly larger house.
Think of that answer.
Councillor Palmer.
Mr. Chair, my question was answered.
Okay. Monica, I just have you under 6.1.5 summary of comments and recommendations of the Huron County Planning Department.
Sure. Since there were no agency or public comments on this one, then we would go with number 2 in both cases, no comments received. So no comments were received on this application, so there was no effect on the decision.
Okay, so what I'm, number 7 is the decision of the Committee of Adjustment and Effects. So what I've got is the recommended motion is that the Committee of Adjustments hereby approves the minor variance application MV03-2020 as it applies to Lot 4 Registered Plan 22M13 219 Rutledge Street, Blythe, Township of North Huron. The applicant is Gary Rutledge. The owners are GJAJ Holdings Limited, with the conditions set out in the report presented by Monica Walker Bolton at the October 5th, 2020 Committee of Adjustments meeting. And further that the minor variance
That's the second motion.
okay, so that's just the first motion there. I'll take I got Councillor McBurney moves that. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Faulkner seconds it. All those in favor? Okay. Carried. The second motion is that the minor variance application MV 2020 basically is a recommendation to be 2A and 2B, I believe, is what I recall hearing. Councillor Heffer moves that. I have Councillor Van Henderson seconding. All those in favor? Carried. Just a reminder on number 8, the reminder of the appeal period. So a minor variance procedure following a public meeting, that the Secretary Treasurer sends within 10 days a certified copy of the decision indicating the last date of appeal of the appealing to the local planning appeal tribunal, which is LPAT, to the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and each person who appeared in person or by counsel at the hearing and who filed with the Secretary Treasurer a written request of the notice of decision. If no appeal is lodged, after 20-day objection period has expired and no appeal has been lodged, the decision of the Committee of Adjustments is final and binding. The Secretary Treasurer shall notify the applicant. If a notice of appeal is lodged, Within 20 days of the committee adjustments making an appeal is lodged with the Secretary of Treasurer outlining the reasons for such an appeal, and said appeal is accompanied by the required fee of $400. The Committee of Adjustment has no longer retains jurisdiction over the application. If a proper appeal is lodged, the Secretary Treasurer is required to provide proper notice to the local planning appeal tribunal, LPAT. Okay? So if there's no further business before the Committee of Adjustments, the public meeting hereby adjourned at 5:40. Do I have a mover? Councillor McBurney moves. Councillor Palmer seconds. All those in favor? Carried. We are adjourned. We can wait